All
Okay,
right.
here we are.
We are. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Harmony and Healing with Cindy and Julia. We're so excited to be with you today, and we are super excited because we have our very first guest, and we're really, really honored to have Jamie here. So I will, Julia, I'm going to pass it over to you so you can introduce our guest here today.
So his name is Jamie Brown, a shamanic energy practitioner extraordinaire. I met him in the advanced classes a few years back, and he also has two podcasts, which I'll let him explain as we go along. But we're very grateful to have you with us today, Jamie.
Thank you, thank you. And it's lovely to be with you both and to share the information, the healing and the work that we all do with your community as well as everyone else that'll be listening in from around the world. So I feel very blessed and very honored to be your first guest. So thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. And we are kind of we're very international. We're like Hawaii and Canada, and Jamie, you're in Spain. So it's so amazing how we can all connect and come together. And then just in the power of this medicine and sharing our passion and touching people around the world. So it's just really, really amazing to be here together. So yeah.
Well, I think so. I mean, we're lucky to be able to have this community that we can share, and it's worldwide. It's not just a village anymore. It is worldwide, and really is a blessing for all of us as we're going through these new times, exciting times.
Very. Yeah, we feel
Exactly.
the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so we do have a tradition here where we begin with opening the directions and we're going to coach over ourselves and our IU. And so, Jamie, we'd love to invite you to join us in that opening the directions. And
Love to. I'd love to. Thank you.
okay. All right, so I'll begin with the South. And as always, we invite you to join in, if you're able to, and you know your directions to turn to the South, to just really take in, the words and how it feels for you as we were calling in the archetypes and grounding here in our time together. So to the South. To the winds of the south, Sachamama, beautiful serpent, mother of the waters, come into our medicine space, be with us today. Wrap your coils of light and love around us. Help us to shed those old ways of being, those old habits and beliefs, just as you shed your skin all at once. Teach us to be belly to belly with Pachamama, our beloved Mother Earth, who is the keeper of the divine feminine wisdom. Teach us to walk in beauty and touch everyone we meet with beauty. Aho.
Oh,
Oh,
To the winds of the west, or Tarango, mother, sister, brother, jaguar. Come into our sacred medicine space today. Teach us your ways of fearlessness, to live without fear, to be embrace certainty and impeccability, and to become those luminous warriors, the bridge between the worlds. Walk with us with grace. Teach us the grace and the power and the ease that you navigate with. We thank you and we honor you. Aho.
aho.
aho. The winds of the north, royal hummingbird, grandmothers, grandfathers, ancient ones. Come, warm your hands by our fire, whisper to us in the wind. Allow us to sing the song of life, of love, to share the nectar of life that's available to all of us now, and especially in these times where we've gone through the south direction, the west direction. We're now moving into the north direction and drinking this nectar. and enjoying our lives more and more in this important time. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Aho.
you. Oh.
Oh.
The winds of the west, great eagle, condor, come to us from the place of the rising sun. Give us under your wings. Show us the mountains we only dare dream of. Teach us to fly wing to wing with great spirit. Show us as we have moved through our directions, we can look down from the great heights of the life and lessons that we're learning here, to look down and to realize that these lessons are going on around and before us. And we can look from this great height, from a safe area, a safe place to be. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Aho.
Oh. Ah, Pachamama, our primordial mother. We honor you. We love you. We thank you for your sustenance, for your nutrition, for your grounding, for you giving us this beauty for us to feast our eyes upon. We thank you that you're always there for us. We honor all our relations, the stone people, the plant people, the two-legged, four-legged, creepy crawlers, the ones that fly through the air, burrow in the earth, and live in the waters. All our relations. Aho Pachamama. Aho.
Oh.
Aho.
Auntie Taita, Father Sky, Mama Kia, Grandmother Moon, Sashka Kuna, star nations and celestial luminous beings of light and power. Great Spirit, we invite you into this medicine space today to talk to our hearts, to our minds, allowing us to live and walk in the ways of Spirit, giving us that boldness, giving us those skills and that sensitivity. We thank you, Great Spirit, you who are known by thousands of names and still the unnameable one. We thank you for your essence. We thank you for your guidance. We thank you for your support. Aho.
Aho. Wonderful.
Hmm.
And our
Beautiful way to start.
Isn't it?
uh,
Okay, so opening our Veda coach over ourselves, source of the sacred, bring that all around you, connecting even beneath your feet. So you're connected to our beloved mother, and opening it over each other here, our community, our Ayu. Just take a moment to just notice how it feels to, just be in this luminous energy,
mhm.
in your own luminous energy, and together as a community. Mm.
And it feels very warm and delicious for us three to be together. I love this. I love the
Thank you.
energy that we all share. We are part of the same Ayu, the same family, the same spirit family. No matter where we're living. I love the feeling of having you with us, Jamie.
Thank you. Thank you. I love to be part of the family. And I believe, I truly, truly believe that we are.
Yeah.
We are more together. I really do.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah. So, Jamie, we just would love to know, what brought you into the world of shamanism, and maybe if you could just tell us a little bit about your journey.
Okay, sure. Let me cut it down to a bite size. I mean, like many, the journey started very young. I remember being 14, 15 months of age, and my brother was going to take me down on a wheelchair from the porch, and I visualized him dropping the wheelchair, and I knew it was going to be an accident. I started crying, and then my mother came and took me down. From then, I was starting to get messages, visions, and things, and that's carried on until you get to a certain age where you don't tell people anymore because
Mhm.
they think it's not true. There's something wrong there. So I hid it.
Right.
Always connected, always in the water. I've been a surfer, yachting, swimming, surf lifeguard as well, in the mountains, search and rescue, a lot of that, and always connected to nature and with animals. I think in my early 20s, I got into massage and then into energy work, which we called Q12, the lady who taught me, but nobody knew what Q12
Never heard
energy
of
work
that.
was. No, but people know it as a close association to Reiki.
Okay.
Hmm.
So I ended up doing a Reiki course, very similar but slightly different because we were calling in different energies as well with Q12. And then from there started the journey. I became a clinical hypnotherapist, psychotherapist, went on to doing learning in Canada from a well-known shamanic gentleman up there by the name of Aaron Eldon, and he took me under his wing. So I studied with him there, and he was also a druid. So I learned a little bit about that as well at that time. From there, from London, I was based, had a successful practice there, and then moved to New Zealand to open up a health retreat.
Mm.
From there, I started with holistic animal therapy, with herbal medicine, homeopathy, then learned about crystals, and then it took me overseas again. And then I found through being lent a book by Alberto Villoldo, Shaman Healer Sage,
Mm.
and from page one, I
Yeah.
just resonated with Alberto. I just devoured his books. At school, I was terrible. I was bored and go surfing all the time. Don't tell my daughter that I moved away from school.
You mean Nicole?
And I was in the water. Yeah, yes, yeah, Nicole. But then I was reading 2 books a night, and I was just attracted to Alberta's writing and reading, and then of course Marcella as well. And then I found the shamanic energy work encompassed everything, encompasses the crystals, which I have a lot of, and very I love working with crystals, working with feathers, working with pendulums, working with the chakras, working with clearing the energy bodies and bringing it all back in, working with past lives, soul retrieval. It all came in there, and like the work that we do, like you're both trained as well, we're seeing people making their own transformations is
Mm.
what it is because we help them, as you know, to help themselves, and it's been wonderful. It really is, and I love this medium of the shamanic energy work, working and allowing this to happen, and it's beautiful. It really is.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And it's not that's so well rounded, like you just with embracing your intuition to energy work, to nature, and it just, I think it's similar with all of us, and we just kind of land here in this space, this
Yeah,
sacred space of shamanism. And um, I know Julia and I have, similar backgrounds, Reiki masters, and Julia with hypnotherapy and animal therapy, and
yes,
just so it just kind of draws. I think we know right from a young age, and we're just kind of led here, and I love how, and it brought you all around the world, different teachers. That's really amazing, Jamie.
really, really does. I can feel the shivers up the spine when we start talking about it, the connection, because what it sounds like while we're talking before is that we've done most of the same type of trainings to end up in the same place, and I think that's uh, I use the word, but it's beautiful. It really is beautiful.
And I love your
And I also
as you're sharing. I can feel your passion coming out of your words and your energy. And that's so important, I feel, that we do that in our lives, whatever we're
yes,
passionate about. Yes.
yes, very much so. And I teach the rites of the Moon Eye Key as well. So I take the 10 rites, and I've taken quite a few people through that. The transformations that they have gone through themselves by opening this up, as well as the other shamanic work. I mean, yeah, it is wonderful. It really is. And it's what's needed at this time. And I think it's very much, we work with a certain amount of masculine energy, but there's a huge amount of the feminine energy that we work with that comes through that people are just absorbing like a sponge. You
Mhm.
know, they just take it on board and they love it. And then they may start off, and I say, okay, well, let's talk about some meditation. And then they start to sit back. I can see their reaction. They say, okay, well, let's start with 3 breaths. Let's just work with a feminine breath. Let's just start there and then expand it from that. And really, it's the beginning of their journey.
That's beautiful. And I heard what you said about the divine masculine and feminine. So, how do you feel the concept of divine feminism? What do you feel its impact on our current state of humanity is?
I think it is. I think it is so important that the divine feminine is coming through here. If we go back, we look back at organized religion. We look back when the man Jesus was around at that time, and there's a lot of writings, a lot of teachings. I believe there was a man like this. I firmly believe this, and it wasn't until the now well publicized edits and audit of the Bible at 300 BC, where the power was taken away from the woman, and that was the beginning of it. Peter, the Bible of Peter, they were brought together. You may know the story anyway. They were brought together, and different versions of the Bible were presented. Peter's Bible was one very much about the feminine energy, the divine feminine. And of course, the men at that time were so fearful of the feminine energy, especially to do with ancient religions, to do with paganism, druidry, to do with native cultures around the world, that the Bible of Peter was just wasn't even looked at. And then they started bringing the power. Within 200 years, the persecutions started, and then it's carried on. It's still going on today. I mean, will we ever see a female pope? Will we ever see more than one or two people in a high authority in that sort of area? I doubt that very much. The power and control is there. But now with going through what we have with the COVID pandemic, it's become in a way different from what they expected. People have banded together, have joined together, have realized that they've been lied to, that the stories are not right. And the people are just wanting more. They're wanting more than what organized religion was trying to do. It's not about going to a building that's only open for 2 hours a couple of times a week. It's about being in nature and being in God and being in the feminine from there. And it's been shown so many times how much the divine feminine works, is much needed, and it is a what are the right words to say here? But it really is an important aspect that we need to embrace fully now.
Yes.
I really believe that. And what you're doing with your academy is so needed, really is so needed. And I really applaud you and pray for the goodness and the people coming to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. We appreciate that. And it truly is it's a calling, it's a passion. It's not just something it actually came as a download to both of us to bring this, the Divine Feminine Shaman Academy into the world, this offering of really embracing that divine feminine. So it's strong and it's being felt all around the world. And,
Yes,
we're really learning to embrace that divine feminine essence and the balancing of the two, which I think is so important, within each of us, right?
Yeah.
That divine
yes,
feminine and masculine. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
I
yeah.
was teaching at Four Winds, and when I got the download and the call, and I had a destiny retrieval, and I there was scene in there in Academy and a couple other things, and it just wouldn't leave. It just settles in when I'm called, and probably the same with you. It just settles into your heart area, into your spirit, and you can't really move or maneuver around until you say yes. That's how it was with.
Mhm.
And so then that one morning, I was meditating, and I heard work with Cindy. So we connected that morning because she got the download in the shower.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
you could create Academy with Julia. I'm like, okay. I listened to her. I said, okay, Julia, do you have time to talk? And I shared, and she's like, oh my gosh, I got the same message. And there has been not a doubt, no looking back. What is being wrought through is just feels miraculous and divinely guided. And we both feel very blessed. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 When the messages come through and you're open to listening to them, I think one of the best things is to carry on with that intuition, because if you don't, you'll get the message maybe, as you know, a couple more times, and
Right.
then if not, if you don't pick it up, as John Lennon said, it'll go to somebody else. The message will get picked up by somebody else
And
who
you're
That's
will act
right.
on it.
you're kind of left unfulfilled because you didn't say
Yes.
yes to the soul's journey, let's say that.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
it just
Yeah.
felt
Yeah.
like a
And
heroin.
sometimes,
Yeah.
sure. And it's many of them are testing you as well, aren't they? I mean, if they're going to push your boundaries, you're going to feel uncomfortable doing certain things. But
Mhm.
my gosh, once you do it, you think, wow, why did I hesitate before?
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
So
I think the messages coming through. I love them. I love them coming through, and I try and follow up on as many of them as I can, and allow that intuition to come through, and allow the channeling to keep on coming through, which is so important to our work.
It's so important.
absolutely. Yeah. So, Jamie, I would love to, just hear your perspective on, the divine feminine and shamanism, being, a male in this field, and there's so many males in this field. And I did notice, when Julie and I took our training, there were quite a few women in the program, but, I would just love to hear kind of your perspective on what role, the divine feminine has to play in shamanism.
Yeah, it is huge. I mean, but if we look back at our indigenous past, we look back at we weren't all back in the church. We were all a indigenous culture at some time. We all relied on all the celebrations. I mean, the 12 main celebrations that we celebrate are all pagan celebrations, all ancient celebrations. We've always celebrated the full moon, the new moon, the seasons, the certain times from there. And most of them are feminine, divine feminine celebrations, because they know the power and the strength, and like the rites of the moonlight key, and going through the water element from there, how important it is, all that. And most of the rites are associated with a feminine divine. We have giving the bands of power, the bands of protection as well. There's only one that's really masculine, okay, and that's the heart chakra, the gold band of power. But the rest of them there. So I think it's really important on the shamanic side to have both. The feminine divine is so important. The masculine also, I think, because I know that I work with a lot of therapists as well, as I'm sure you do, and sometimes they're stuck. And I've been to a lot of other people there. They've tried to do something, but they need something that's quite strong. And I'm not saying that you guys are not strong in your way, but I laugh a little bit because I can be quite abrupt, and I can say, use some language that's probably not going to be used over here to get people into a shock situation. And I don't mind doing that, because people sometimes need that. So I think, yeah, the masculine is needed, but certainly the feminine. And as you said, in our classes, there would have been 5% male, and then I think the rest were female, which shows you the calling is going out there. And I say to the guys, I said, well, is this of interest to you? Because I feel that you're a natural healer. And there are so many, men there who have this ability as well as the women, but the women definitely are the ones that are coming through at the moment, and in this time of especially at the moment, the cycle of the moon, which we're going through, and the flares that are happening, we do need that feminine approach. We certainly do.
Mhm.
So I'm not
Yes.
sure whether that's answered the question very
Oh,
well or not, but there's
yeah, it answered it.
definitely
It
the
was
balance.
beautiful. Yeah, I
It's
like
been
it.
woven through the whole conversation,
Yeah,
actually. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
for
tell
sure.
us,
And
go
when I'm
ahead.
working with people, with man and woman, I'm always doing the balancing of the masculine and feminine energy, so they have that
Mhm.
balance through the body. Pretty much everyone, I'm called to do that. There's some interesting ones sometimes, and as you know, when we're working with people, we get some interesting visions or interesting messages coming through, and we really have no idea what they are, but I share them. The other day was a corn on the cob, and I'm not sure what the corn on the cob is. And I saw this corn on the cob. But I love corn on the cob. And he said, I got no idea. And then 2 days later, he rang back and he said, I now know. It's about planting the seeds from the corn. And oh, she was coming spine just talking about it now. But I have no idea, like you do, what some of these messages are, which is fun, which can be fun. So
It
yeah.
is fun, isn't it? Yeah.
And it takes
You never know what's
boldness.
going to come through.
Yeah, yeah, because you
Yes.
you have to have that courage. Oh, that sounds kind of crazy. You need to say it. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've got
Mm.
through that stage now. So, well, yeah, I said, well, this is what come through. Let's try to chat about it afterwards. Yeah, and then I share it, and of course the colors or the messages or the visions that we see, and then take it from there. So, yeah,
Yeah, very ethereal. So, can I ask you just to share a little bit about how you do balance the divine feminine and masculine in people?
sure. Certainly with when I go through or okay, let me start. When the person comes to see me, we sit down, we have the conversation, and I get a feel of where they are, masculine,
Right,
feminine wise, and that as well. Of course, as we know, the first three chakras are our survival chakras, and then we work up through the different energy bodies through the system from there. So I know that when I've done the pendulum work, going through the seven bodily chakras, that what is needed more on either the masculine or the feminine side from there. Also, the swing of the pendulum, when we have the wide mouth of the pendulum, okay, that's the chakra going very well. A lot of them would just be stopped dead, especially
right,
the bottom three chakras. And then normally, if I know that it's coming this way, it's a masculine energy. If it goes this way, it feels more of a feminine energy that is needed, that is required there. So when I'm working um, to unwind and release the what I call it the gunk or
right.
the smudgy type stuff that's coming up, and I visualize it like a black smoke coming sort of out of the chakras, and I'm doing the releasement work from there before I scoop it with the feathers and put it to the fire. Before I do that, I see that releasing, so I know which chakras are showing more of the sludge coming up from there, sludge or tar or whatever I like to see. And then when we're doing the illumination, then that energy will come down. So when I'm coming up to the eighth chakra, bringing that illumination down onto the chakra, then that will feel. And a lot of the times it can feel like either a gold color or a blue, which I feel is
Mhm.
more the masculine, or I'm getting sometimes the pink or the white, which I feel is more of the feminine. So when I'm bringing it down and holding that there, and sometimes when I'm holding it over the chakra, as we do with the illumination, sometimes I'm told to wait
Mhm.
longer, 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 and then, okay, now release. Or they say, do it again, bring down another lot from there. So
Mm,
working on that side. And then, of course, when we go deeper into entity releasement work or going to the chambers, and that as well, soul retrieval, then that comes up. And of course, a lot of the women that come to see me and the guys as well have been persecuted.
right,
So we
right.
go through back to that and we do a releasement from that because a lot of them carry that through in their bodies.
Hmm.
So
Mhm.
that's a big one as well, is doing the soul retrievals. And it's uh, a relief. You can almost you can hear them when they let out a sigh.
Yes.
When that work starts to come through, and their face, the color changes, doesn't it? It really
It
does.
does
Go
totally.
from
And
Yeah.
they're
sort of tense tight, and then everything drops, and then the color comes back, and
right.
hey, wow, this is powerful, and this is why I think the shamanic energy medicine is so powerful. And the other week, I did an interview with oh my goodness, what's her name? Dr. Shaman. What's her name? Goodness gracious, Tanya Mayer, who was a trained MD and got into the shamanic side. She was in our class. So, and she talks about that as well, about bringing that feminine energy in. But yeah, it's wonderful. It really is. And working with animals, love
Mm.
working with animals as well. So, that's another area that I love working in. So, yeah.
I think you have to love working with animals if you're going to be working with the archetypes because they're everywhere. And thank you for sharing that, the examples and everything, because I know
Mhm.
each individual, shaman practitioner has their own individual bent, and it comes from what they did before and how they perceive. And we all are aiming towards the same goals, but people are attracted to our medicine because of the way we do it. That's what I have found.
Yeah.
And hearing how you do it is wonderful. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Can you tell us about your podcast? You said you have two of them.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. The first one is called the Becoming Podcast, and we've got 21 episodes out now. So, we haven't been going that long. What I'm trying to do is why I got Julia onto the podcast was wanting to share what other healers, what other therapists, what other people are giving to the world. And I believe it's so important because some people will not resonate with me. My energy will not be what they want, but there will be other people like coming to see either one of you will be slightly different in each way. So, we've interviewed a lot of different healers, therapists, and helping people to become better people themselves. So that's the
Beautiful.
Becoming
I love
podcast
that.
that we have.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the
So
title and it's so descriptive of what you're sharing. Yeah.
yes, yes. So that's local here in Mallorca, and Mallorca is a very much a magnet for people, for healers and that as well, and healing. So if people come to Mallorca, you have a problem, which I did when I first came here, and going around the circle of the shamanic energy medicine, you learn to release a lot. It'll
Mhm.
magnify the problem until you deal with it, and then you
So
release it, let
true.
it go.
So
If you're a
true.
therapist and a healer here, it'll come in behind you and assist you and will really help you to magnify your healing
Yes.
energy, to boost that energy. And that's wonderful. It supports whatever country you come from, wherever you come from. So it's a bit like a mini Brighton. Brighton in the UK is very much a healing area, and Mallorca is like that in the Mediterranean. So that's really interesting. So yeah, that's a Becoming podcast, and a new one we just started up is Storytellers of Mallorca, and that's more people coming to Mallorca, telling of why they came here, and their trials and tribulations of being here, and then what they love about the island. So this is away from the healing side, but getting people to open up and to share their story a little bit more. So those are the two podcasts that we have going.
Oh, I
Well,
love that. There's so
that's
much power
wonderful.
in story.
Yes.
So much power and so much healing when people share their stories. Um, I just love that. I love both your podcasts, the whole concept of them, and when you interviewed Julia, unfortunately, I wasn't feeling well that day, but it was just really beautiful to watch, and I just so honor what you bring to the world, Jamie, and the work that you're doing. It's powerful.
Thank
It's
you.
needed, and
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, now that you're feeling better, at some stage in the future, we'll get you back on or get you both on again because we have so much to
Great.
share, and we need to share this. It's a time of that, of talking, of communicating, You can't, talking about crying, sharing your emotions. It's okay to cry. So, especially for men, men are starting to open up more and to let go. But also for women as well, where before they were told the same thing, big girls don't cry. And there's some other sayings about that, but it is so important to share our stories. I think so too.
Yeah. And talk story is a big thing in Hawaii. It's I mean, it's part of the culture. When Hawaiians get
Yes,
together, they'll just stop. It doesn't matter where they're going, what time, whatever, and they'll just talk story with each other. And it's very
yeah,
powerful. It's very powerful
yes,
sharing. So I love that you're
yes,
doing a show around that. It also kind of introduces them to you and what you offer. So that's a beautiful part of it too, that you probably
yes, yeah,
wouldn't
for
be able to
sure.
reach some of these people any other way. So that's
No,
beautiful.
no,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, no, very much. It's a different clientele, different people that were coming on board here, and telling their stories. So, it's pretty much the same time. That try to leave it to about just under 30 minutes or so, but for the
Right.
podcast, but it goes out. But as you said, it's when we speak, as you know, that it comes out of the mouth that goes to the universe, and that's
Yes.
very much the ear, the ether, very much. So, so important. I agree.
So much power in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yeah, for sure. But no, so what you're doing, what we're all doing together here is important to those people that are listening as well. Please, contact or get in divine with the divine feminine, with your academy there, and start the journey. It's not so scary. This the shamanic energy work is natural, isn't it? It's nothing to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
scared of.
Yes.
you
Yes.
know, with two
Absolutely.
beautiful souls like yourselves to hold, to be behind them and hold their back and support them, they're in good hands. Really, they're in good hands.
Thank you. And we have we begin going around the medicine wheel May 1st. So we will be offering a 1-day workshop on April 27th to just kind of catch people up on what we did in the introductory program. But we will have an intake on May 1st. And so we'd be happy to have a conversation with anyone around that.
Yes,
And
yes, yeah, fantastic.
yeah,
Yes, yeah, and I'll
okay.
share that as well on my sites as well, so they can contact you with your contact details.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Jamie.
Support each
Yeah.
other. That's
Yes,
beautiful. Yes.
yes, yes,
Spread this work around the world. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
So
for sure, for sure. Yeah. No, it's lovely. It's lovely, and yeah, been to share whatever here, from this island, this little island in the Mediterranean Sea. We're 2 hours from 2 hours from most 2.5 hours from most parts of Europe, so it's
Yeah,
very
and
accessible for
Hawaii
that.
is known for being the most isolated island, the set of islands in the world, actually. Did you know that?
Yes,
2,500 miles
yes,
from any main landmass. Yeah. So we're kind
yes,
of
yes,
we're both in our own little, and then you in northern British Columbia, we have our spheres, and it's all
yes,
one. Yes, yes,
it's all one.
yes. We're all
yeah,
one.
yeah. No, for sure.
Mm.
And from New Zealand, when I go back there, which I'm due to go back again, it's just connecting with the land, connecting with the people, connecting with that there. And there's some wonderful Maori healers
Mm,
down there. I don't think they get the recognition or the publicity that they deserve, and I think they need to come out a lot more. And I see there's more Maori men coming out for their workshops, which is really good. And I like supporting and
that is
sharing them as well. Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. But it's there. I mean, it's all over. It's there. It's Australia. It's Indonesia. It's everywhere. Thailand, or even through to Russia and Mongolia and everywhere else. We all have our indigenous species, our own indigenous origins, I should say. So yeah, yeah.
So connected in so many ways. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yeah, we are, and it is beautiful.
I
It
love
really is.
watching the Maori dances. I love watching the Maori
Yes,
dances. Yeah, Very
Oh,
powerful.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, very, very powerful. And of course, in Hawaii and the Pacific Islands, they all have their own different
Yeah, they
versions
have
of it
their
as well.
dances. In fact, we're right in the
Yeah.
middle of Merry Monarch, the biggest hula festival in the world right now. We started
Oh,
Sunday
okay.
night. Yeah. Yeah, it was voted the best cultural festival in the US. And that's going on here
Oh,
right now.
wow.
People come from all over the world and they share I don't know if you've ever seen a halau dance. Halau is an organized, a loose way of saying, a group of people that get together and they learn together and they study culture together and they have a kumu that runs, that could be male or female. And so there's so many of those here right now on the island and doing their performances starting Wednesday night. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
Wonderful. Wonderful. I have to have a look on YouTube or somewhere and see
yeah.
if I can pick some up and have a look.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's pretty powerful.
Yes, yes, yes. And of course in Canada as well, the North American Indians and their dances and cultures as well, all the way
Yes,
They're
through,
beautiful.
hugely.
yes,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, I love watching, I love sharing, feeling the emotions that go with it. It really is heartfelt, and it's being one. It really is. Yeah.
yes, yes. I've gone to a lot of powwows. I think that was part of my
Yeah.
spiritual journey. Yeah, many years ago. Went to a lot of big powwows. Yeah, and I worked with a
Right.
couple
Right.
native reservations too. So that gave me an understanding of their ways and how they work and maneuver in the world. And I'm married to a Native American too. So yeah,
Okay. Wow. Fantastic. Fantastic.
yeah,
And their history goes back. I mean, I'm not sure whether you know, but the Druids, part of their apprenticeship was to travel to North America and to study with the North Americans. I mean, the land bridge. I mean, people think, the land between Russia and Alaska, I think it is not that big, and of course it used to be a lot less. So
right,
the traveling used to happen. So that's part of the Druid pagan part of the apprenticeship was that they would travel through North America and share there what they had learnt and take back new teachings that they learnt as well. So yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of these things we know nothing about. It's like in New Zealand, a lot of things are hidden from us to keep us under control. But that's for another time.
That's for another conversation. Yeah.
uh,
Definitely, definitely.
it's been
Great.
such a pleasure to have you, Jamie. I feel such a kinship with
Thank
you. I
you.
just feel that spiritual mana between all three of us. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for having me on, and I'm honored. I really am to be your first guest. Woohoo! Yay!
Oh, great. We're honored to have you here. Thank you for saying yes, for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem. Of course. Yes, yes. No, that was easy. That was an easy one.
That's how I felt about yours too. It was just flowed.
Yeah, yeah,
So we
yeah,
get to
yeah,
close,
yeah.
Well,
We know.
I
honor
hate
our,
this to
yeah.
bring this to an end. It's been just truly just a beautiful experience. But shall we close directions? All righty.
Sure.
To the south. To the winds of the south, Sachamama, beautiful serpent, mother of the waters. Thank you for being with us, for wrapping your coils of light and love around us. Thank you for teaching us how to be belly to belly with Pachamama, how to release those things that are no longer serving us. We thank you for being with us and we release you now. Aho.
Oh,
Aho.
To the winds of the west, or Tarango, mother, sister, brother, jaguar. Thank you for being with us, for teaching us your ways of fearlessness, certainty, impeccability, grace, for teaching us how to be the bridge between the worlds, become those luminous warriors, no enemies in this lifetime or the next. We thank you and we release you now. Amen.
oh.
Aho. To winds of the north, hummingbird, grandmothers, grandfathers, ancient ones. Thank you for this joining of our three souls and the community that is listening to this recording in the future. Thank you for bringing us together and sharing this knowledge as wise people, as elders in our community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aho.
Oh,
To the ones of the West, great eagle, condor, thank you for coming to us from the place of the rising sun, for allowing us to share this information from above, to see our trials and tribulations that we go through from this distance of safety and of being. To fly with you during these can be giddy times, but to see this vision. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aho.
oh. Ah, Pachamama, great, great mother of us all. Thank you for your grounding. Thank you for being with us in your sweetness, in your loving embrace as we shared our hearts and our beings together. Thank you for giving us that nurturing and sharing. We honor all our relations, the stone people, the plant people, the two-legged, four-legged, creepy crawlers, the fin-furred and winged, and we release you all now. Aho.
Aho.
Entitaita, Mamakia, Sashka Kuna, celestial luminous beings of light and power. Thank you for your grace, for your wisdom, for your knowledge, for your mana that we were able to share one with another today. We honor you and we thank you for your medicine and we release you now. Aho.
Aho. Hey.
So let's close our Viracocha over our Ayu. Stretching down, bringing that luminous light up and over each one of you. And over ourselves. Thank you again,
Wow.
Jamie. It's been an honor to sit in Sacred Circle with you, and we appreciate you. And
Thank
we look
you.
forward to having
Thank
you
you.
back again.
Yeah, we do.
Mhm.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. I'm just fiddling around here. I love that very much, and thank you for the invitation. No, that was lovely. That was beautiful. So no, that's wonderful. And everyone out there, all I can say is contact these two beautiful souls, these beautiful beings, and be a part of their family and their community. There's so much love and
Mm.
so much to share with you. I really do.
And we
Thank
totally
you.
honor what you're doing in your community. It's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for being
So
there.
we
Thank
Thank
really look forward to checking out your podcast, and I encourage everyone to as well. So
thank
Yes.
we'll
you.
put the
No,
information
wonderful.
in the links, and check out Jamie's podcasts and the beautiful medicine he has to share with the world.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next week. Okay. Many blessings. Namaste.
Bye for now. Bye.
Bye.
Namaste. Aho.
Aho.